guys, let's continue with the model. Of course, there are certain times, and almost every time I do a model, I got to those times that I'm wondering how to continue the model, what to do next. And in this case, I will have to fix a few things and then continue with some new things. So first, let's go to this one, this thing here, and with G, just move it around and make sure it's a little bit bigger, because here you see the distance between the belt and the corner of this is super low. In our case, it will not be that low, but it could be a little bit lower. And then we will continue with moving, or at least trying to move, this collar so it will fit. So let me think or see how exactly this fits. Okay, in the back, let's try to make it work. Yeah, it doesn't have to be exactly as I told you, like the concept. Sometimes we can have a little bit of artistic freedom. Let's remove the solidify modifier, just the visibility of it, so we can easily see what we're doing now. Because with the solidify modifier, sometimes I cannot grab it exactly in the right space or place. And now I can put it on. And yeah, again, it's difficult to grab it, but whatever. Okay, we can move it from here, we can move it up. We can't. Let's remove the modifier and move it up. Like this. I don't want to move it too much. So, the idea here is that we have to have the hair. And the hair, I will get feedback from the lead artist, because I want the hair to be completely symmetrical, so all the head elements will be absolutely symmetrical, which will give us the chance to have something symmetrical. In this case, the head and the legs will be symmetrical, and all the rest will not be. So yeah, we'll see how we will continue with this, but this is looking not obviously, it's looking kinda good. Not the best, not the worst. I am relatively happy with the result that we have until this point, but we can do better. So for when we finish this, when we're happy with how it looks, what I will do is I will probably extract and duplicate the borders and make them a separate mesh. Only the border, and also here in the bottom, also for this glove, because this will make it much more clean. Now the border and the inner part here on the glove are the same mesh, which I don't think is a good idea. I mean, it could work, of course, but it will be difficult to vertex paint it. And yeah, I think it will be better if it's not one mesh. Of course, it will be a little bit of a pain to make it two meshes, and of course we have to have our final view of the object, final form, because if we don't, it will be a problem later. Okay, this thing, I'm moving it up. By the way, there could be a problem here because the beard is going inside this, and the problem will not be when we bake or something, because I will take the head most likely and pull it up and bake it somewhere above. Although here it's kind of visible and I don't like it. It's visible the separation between the head and the body. But I want to do the body absolutely by itself. I don't want to do it. So I will try to hide it here. Here in the back it will be hidden by the hair. So it's fine. But here on the side it will be visible, which is not a super big deal, huge. I will talk with our lead artist and stuff, and hopefully I will be able to kind of pursue not pursue. To persuade him that this will be for the best and this cutout here will be okay to have. But we'll see. I will pull this a little bit more up. Maybe I can pull this more up. Smooth it. And yeah, the cut will be a little bit not so big. Although, yeah, in the other side I didn't do it because I don't have symmetry. Yeah, I forgot to add symmetry. Whatever. It's okay. By the way, if we want now to put this part, this to this, we have to go to symmetrize, but not minus x to x, but plus x to minus x. And now this part will go to the other part. But the default is minus x to x. So most of the time I try to work on this side of the object, and then minus x to x will symmetrize it by taking this and putting it to the other side. In this case, I just did it on the other side because it was more convenient, and I had to just change plus x to minus x, which is okay. I mean, it's nothing. Okay. It's looking relatively nice. From the back, it's not visible. From the side, it's kind of not visible. From the front, it's a little bit visible. But if I go to the head, I have symmetry. And if I just make it so this seems like a fold, and maybe it could work. It could just might work. It could just might work. Perfect English, right? Yeah, I know. I know, it's the best. This could work. We'll see. So let's take this part and duplicate it. By the way, let's go to object mode. Shift D. Okay, object mode, come on. Shift D and put it down. Now from this, I will try to make this thing on his waist. I'm not sure it will work, but let's see. First, I will disable or solidify. And this modifier, we don't need them. And I will kind of delete some of the polygons. We don't need them, like this ones. Okay, X faces. Okay, now delete this. I'm not sure that this will work. Sometimes those kind of things works, sometimes they don't. And when they don't work, we have to just do it separately by itself. It's not an issue at all. Okay, press G, then smooth with Shift. And then I will just move it without caring at all about the polygons, how they will be and stuff. By the way, I will not make it so close to the leg, because for animation it will be awful. So I will make it like almost like it is now. Far away from the leg, because I need to surround it with polygons, and the animators will put some bones, and they will attach this thing to the bones and it will move, so it will be nice. If I attach it to the leg, it will be yeah, it's too if it's too close to the leg, it will be an awful thing for everybody. So I think this will be for the best if I do it like this. Now I will try. Let's see it from the back. Okay, it's going further from the middle of the body. So it's going very much like, let me see. It's covering the crack of his butt even. So I'll do it like this. Smooth it a little bit and then try like this and then move it. It's pretty big, by the way. I'm a little bit confused with this, but since we have a drawing from the back, it's approved, so they want it to be like this, so I'm okay with that. Okay, it's almost like half a skirt. All right, it's fine. Now of course I will go to quad remesher and remesh it. It's too much polygons, this one, so I will remesh it again in 100. Oops, 100. Let's try. Oop, reset settings, no. Okay, remesh it. Alright, now it's good. I like it to be the lower poly count as possible, as low as possible. This is my goal. This way I have more control. That's why this is my goal. All right, now, I don't think this is very good. I don't like it that much. Let me think. Okay. All right, now, what I will do is, I will go to edit mode. Everything is selected. And now, I will try to select only, and then with shift, I'll select here, and also shift here, control, and let's see what else is okay. The rest I will delete. So control I, and then X faces. So I deleted them. Why? Because I want here to have a nice kind of a edge. I want to have a good edge in this area, and I will remesh it, and then I will do something. I will show you. So remesh it. All right, this is a good edge. Now I will go to tab, then double click on this edge, and extrude inward once, then extrude down, and then extrude down again. Hopefully this will give us this kind of a thing, how it's going inside the belt. We'll see. Then we'll go back to sculpt mode and continue by just moving it away. It has to look like it's going in the belt. Of course, the belt, I will remove the symmetry from the belt because anyway, it's not symmetrical. It will not be. And I will move the belt a little bit away from the body here, in this area. And then I will try to tuck this in. And this could prove a little bit difficult, but it will be worth it because it will look nice at the end. So I'll move this out so it's more visible. It has to be visible here too. So I'll move it out. Although, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit meticulous, those things. But if we do them right, at the end it will look nice. And this is the difference between the good character artist and kind of a medium character artist. The medium character artist will not give all this effort, which is a few minutes of effort, to do this. And his work will look almost the same, but something will be off. And you'll say, but it's okay, but it doesn't look exactly okay. What's happening? Because he didn't put this a little bit of extra effort to make the things look nicer. And I kind of try to do it because my idea is to do everything to look as good as I possibly can do it in the time that I have. And most of the time I have enough time. For these videos, of course, I'm trying to work a little bit faster than I usually do. But other than that, I'm not trying to sacrifice quality. I'm trying to do it as good as possible again. And as you can see, using the Quad Remesher plugin is pretty good idea. I mean, we're working fine. Okay, I think this is okay. Let's add the solidify modifier. And solidify it upward like this, maybe. I'm not sure. Let's see, like this. I don't need it to be that thick because I will make probably a border later. Mode complex. Ooh, let's call it simple mode. And I'm not sure if it has to go outward or inward. But this seems to be fine for now. And let's add the subdivision surface modifier. This modifier we added just to see how it will look when we add subdivisions. And here we have what we have here. Let me show you. With tab, let's see everything, subdivision. We have some interesting thing in here, which we shouldn't have. So let's fix it. Let's press 2. Let's see, by the way, what is this? G? Interesting. I will connect those. M, center. It should work fine now. Right, and here we have, again, a thing like this. Let's see what it is. Okay, again a triangle. Yeah, sometimes even our mighty quad remesher is not doing the best job ever. But maybe it's my fault, I'm not sure. But it looks fine, so now it's alright. Now let's go to edge data and sharpen it a little bit. Alright. Looks good enough. Now let me show you how to make a spiral. Because you see, inside this flask we have a spiral. How to do this spiral? There is a certain thing we have to do first. We go to object mode, whatever. Now, we go to file. Let me remove this a little bit. No, edit, preferences, add-ons. Add-ons. And then here, we have to enable add curve extra object. So if we write extra, and see, we have add mesh extra object. I don't need that. We have add curve extra objects. By default, it's off. This is an add-on which is inside Blender, so it's okay. By default, it's off. We turn it on. And then, when we try to add Shift A and add a curve, then we have a lot of different options. Curve spirals and Archimedean, let's try that, will give us this. But we have a lot of options in here. We can change the archimedical to logarithmic or whatever, but let's call it, it will be archimedical. Turns, let's try 4, steps 24, maybe a little bit more, less steps. Radius growth, let's increase. No, we don't want that, so we want this to be 0. Radius itself, height, let's increase the height. Okay. It's looking kind of nice. Then we'll go here and increase the depth like this. And we will have our spiral. It's not exactly like this spiral. This spiral looks more strange, but it's a spiral, right? So yeah, let's increase the height. And yeah, this spiral looks a little bit strange. I'm not sure how we will achieve exactly that kind of spiral, but let's... No. We will have to adjust the height like this. And I will make it smaller. We don't need it that big. Smaller. Smaller. And put it inside our flask. Let's give it a thickness and we'll be okay. I think this could work, but no. It has to be a bit thicker. Yes, like this. It has to be almost kind of a completely flush. Not flush, but whatever. I think it's fine. If we hide this, we'll see we have a spiral, which is good. Maybe we can scale it on z-axis like this, or increase it like this. We can do some stuff. But yes, I will probably leave it for now. Which was our object? This one, okay. We'll leave it. It doesn't matter that much. So we have almost everything. Now, before I start the weapon, I would like to try to do some something to refine a little bit. So let's refine the glove, for example, this one. This big glove here. How to refine it? We have this object here, which is okay. And now we need to have a border. The border will be fine to have separately. So let's try to do it. Let's go to the lowest subdivision and see if it will be useful for us. Yes, it will be most likely useful. So what I will do, I will Shift D to duplicate it, and then I will go like this. And I will select with tab, I will go tab and then select the edges I want to use. For example, those. Okay. Control I'm selecting, and now we have this border and we can delete the rest. So Control I to select everything else, X faces. Now we have this, and now I can go to the other mesh and fill it up. Okay, it's not very visible, now it's visible. Now I can select this one, and in the sculpting mode I can move it into position. See what will happen. Just move it into position. Of course here, since this is a sharp angle, we'll have to probably redo it a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I will move this. And this, the end kind of a line here, probably should be a little bit thicker. Which means I have to just inflate it a bit, and it should work. Yeah, I'm inflating it with 6. 6 is my inflate brush. And yes, by default it's not 6, but I find the inflate brush, right click on it, assign shortcut, and assigned the 6 key. Why? It's just my preference. Personal preference. 6 in ZBrush always was my inflate brush, and since now I've kind of wanted something familiar, so I use this. I'm not using 4 as my move brush, in this case grab brush here, because in ZBrush I always use 4 as my move brush. But since G is closer to my finger than 4, it's almost the same. While my fingers are on Alt and Shift and Control, it's almost the same distance, but I kinda get used to the default shortcuts here. I wanted to change as little as possible from the Blender shortcuts, so it will be easier for my students when I teach them Blender. Because when I teach ZBrush, I kinda customize it a little bit more. Because ZBrush, you cannot do it without customization. It's impossible to work fast in ZBrush without customizing it a lot. But Blender, it's possible, pretty possible. So yeah, I try to do that. Now, tab, and let's see what we can do here. We can delete some faces, just select them and delete everything. Why not? X, faces, no problem. And now I will remake them by pressing E, moving. Of course, I can go and get my, what was that? This is a snap. Okay, get my snap and then E, move, and it will snap. Of course, I can rotate, and this will be a good idea here. And then E, and then F. And then I will just move them into position, and it will be almost ready. It's far from ready though. Now we need to flatten the glove below, so it will be good. Let's see first what will happen here. Alright, this seems kind of okay. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. The idea here is that we will have much greater control over this border with a separate object than with just by making it inside the glove itself. If it's a separate object, Much more control. We can change it. We can move it. We can do whatever. Now, multi-res, we don't need here, so I will delete it. We need the solidify modifier, like this. Yes, not too big, not too small. Okay, this solidify modifier is fine. Although, for this border here, I don't think they should be the same border. And also, you see how this is here, this border is here, and this thing, let's do some work. I will move this in, move this too. This is with my, just the grab brush. Just try to make it a little bit more, I mean, nicer to look at. And then this, I have to make it much, much bigger. It has to cover more ground, we may say. And this will stretch the polygons here, which I don't like. And we'll see what we will do. I will probably smooth it like this, and yeah. But stretching the polygons in this case is not good. We had to think about this before we start making thicknesses and stuff, but it's not a big deal. I mean, I can always remesh it again. It's not a super big deal. Although probably I will not. Since in the inside we can have enough polygons, and then we will make also a border for it, and it will be fine. So this border like this, I will select the glove and I will flatten those areas with my scrape brush, so they are not border anymore, and the border will be only this. And I will separate those two. So I'll go tab, then I'll press 3, and then I will try to select all of these, and then right click, separate selection. And now they are separate selection, which is okay. Now we go to object mode, because otherwise it will be difficult. And this, I will make the thickness inward, like this. I think it will be better. And this one will stay like this. And of course, I can always add one subdivision surface modifier with edge data to bigger. And this could be 3 probably. Yes, 3. And you see a nice border. Of course, let's go to sculpt mode and just fix a few thicknesses here. Press G to grab brush. Yeah, and ZBrush is move brush, so sometimes I'm getting a little bit confused, but nowadays, since I'm working only in Blender, I don't touch ZBrush. I kind of started to get used to the names in Blender. Okay, let's go to this one again, add our subdivision surface, and 3, edge data, increase. This is okay, looking nice, show everything, and you see, now this border is much better. It will be very easy to make it a different color if we want, and we will do it. We'll make it a brownish color, this one. And yeah, I will smooth this area here. Okay, this looks pretty nice. What else? We'll have to do the same border for this and for this bottom part here. Let's try it really fast. We have a little bit of time, so let's see what this looks like without the solidify and without the other modifier. It looks fine. Probably we can make the border, except for this part here. We cannot make it here. So I'll press tab and I will cut with my key. So key, and then I will cut here where I want the border to be. And that's very good. Enter. Here I don't like this, so I will cut from here. Okay, enter. Now I will try to dissolve this edge. X, dissolve edges, nice. This looks fine, this will be a nice border, this will be border. Here the border is a little bit too thick, but it's okay. Here, alright, I think this will be fine, except for here I will cut again with K. Here, and then here. Then I will dissolve, most likely. Okay, let's press enter. Oh, okay. I messed up. Now, this, press enter, and then X, dissolve edge. This one, and for now it's fine. Now, what I want to do is duplicate this. So, object mode, Shift D to duplicate, and then just right click, and it will be in the same position. Then I want to see only this mesh, of course. Then I will disable solidify and subdivision. We don't need it for now. Now I will go tab, select this, control here, control here, control here, control here. And you'll see, oh, this guy is working so easily in Blender, like he has spent his whole life working in Blender. No, Blender, I told you I'm using it for 2 and a little bit months now, only Blender. But for that time, I have used Blender for maybe more than 300 hours, maybe more. And it kind of adds up. So Alt-I, select everything else, and delete faces. And now, what we need to do is go to sculpt mode, and just with G, to make this border a little bit kind of the same thickness all around. Would be nice, right? So this thickness is not bad. I will try to keep it all around. Okay. This workflow with those borders and thicknesses is the same I'm working in Blender, in ZBrush, by the way. Yeah, it's absolutely the same as I'm teaching in my courses. Although I haven't made too much of those borders in my courses, I think. But it's fine. Okay, X faces, and then here I will extrude and F to kind of fill this. Yeah, I don't want triangles, that's why I'm doing this. Triangles are... nobody likes them, you know. Maybe some people like them, I don't know. It's okay. It's okay to like triangles. It's nothing to be ashamed of if you like triangles. But yeah, this will be our border. By the way, it will be thicker. Or, let me think. Let me show everything else. Okay, let's show this. Turn on the modifiers. Let's show this. And make it on the other side like that. And with the G, which is our move brush, of course we have to go to our sculpt mode and just subdivision surface, go to 3, edge data, increase a little bit too. And then I will try to achieve this kind of result. It has to be thicker than the rest of the fabric, so it can go from, it can be visible from one side and from the other side. And that's a little bit tricky, but we can shrink a little bit the inner part. So this one, we can try to decrease the thickness, 0.3, then this should work. And of course, this will require a little bit of, you know, tuggling around or whatever it's called. But at the end, we should be able to achieve this great result. Of course, we can always inflate if we want, or if we have to, maybe. We can inflate the upper part, we can kind of deflate the lower. And at the end, we should have something like this. Change the color and it will be amazing. Now, the thickness is not the same everywhere, so I have to go ahead and fix it. But as I told you, sometimes we have to just do some things that are not that interesting in the first place, but they are absolutely needed to be done, those things. Otherwise, your model will look odd and not good. Yeah, we have this border. We will do the same for this part, and for all the things that have borders, by the way, we probably will do, except for this leather part here. Why? I'm doing this only for the parts that the border is a different material. So let's see. The border is a different color and material. That's why I'm doing it as a separate mesh. It will be easier for me to make it a different material. Where we have a border, like in the belt, we have not exactly a border, but we have some kind of a seam, and everything is the same material. I don't need to make it, like this. So let's let's make this kind of a belt here on the leg. Let's select it. We have symmetry. I will press M to mask this area, which will be our belt. Let's call it a belt, little foot belt, probably. Control, remove some mask, and then of course Q, mask extract, and as I told you, it's on Q because I put it there. Now, let's see what happens. Go to scope mode, maybe smooth it a little bit, because when we quad remesh it, I would say zero mesh it, but since we are not in ZBrush, it's not zero mesh. It's not called zero mesh. It's the same, but it's not called zero mesh. It's quad remesh. And for those who don't know, quad remesh is a plugin or add-on for Blender, which is separate. It's not with Blender. It's unfortunately, it's sold separately. You can take it for 1 month just to test it, and it's free for 1 month. And then if you like it, you can buy it between $60 and $100. It's not cheap, but it's saving you many hours. For example, let me just say, with the normal ZBrush functionality here, if we have to do this, let me think, it could be remesh and voxel remesher, for example. It's not gonna work. I mean, it's quad remesher. Let's try quad follow remesh. Okay. Okay, it's too much polygons. Let's try it with quad flow remesher 100. It should work. Yeah, but it's problematic, it's making a lot of issues. So what we use is this. Fast, efficient, amazing. Just I can, and for more complex forms, it's much better. So instead of making it by hand, because you have to make it by hand, because the default tools in Blender don't work. So instead of making it by hand, you're saving time. Sometimes in a model like this, you will have to remesh for hours and hours in order to make clean forms, in order to make the high poly. Then for the low poly, the remesh will be absolutely by hand, no doubt about it, especially in our case now, but because we need as low as possible polygons. But for the high poly, to make it cleaner, you need clean low poly mesh, which if you have to make by hand, it will take you a lot of hours. And in each model, if you can save like 10 hours of work, you will kind of make this $100 from one model only. Because if you take like $20 an hour, which is pretty low rate, but let's say $20 an hour, just if you save just 5 hours on one model, this will be, this plugin will be okay for you to buy. Now, only for one model, and if you work a lot, yeah, but you have to be a character artist. You have to kind of work for money. If you're not, probably you're a student or you have more time, and then you probably are good by working manually, retopologizing. I don't know. Everybody can kind of see if they have a lot of time and they are not working for money yet. They're making things for portfolio or just still learning. I'm still learning, by the way. It's not it's not like I know everything. So everybody is still learning. Although many people are not learning because they think they know it all, which is great for them. Not. But I like to study and learn new things all the time because this makes me a better teacher and also a better artist, which makes me happy. So it's all about happiness, you know. All right, I made this, I made this. It's we kind of make almost everything. By the way, let me show you something. I will select this and go to, of course, to object mode, Shift D, and duplicate it, and it's gone. I don't know where it goes, but yes. Okay. All right. Because I have this selected. Okay, Shift D and press Tab. Select this with L, X, faces. Then select this. Oops. To select it, press A, and then rotate it and put it here because we have this. I forgot it. We have to have it here. So I will just adjust it. So we have this kind of a bolt thing. We have it. It's not a bolt. It's something else. I forgot the name of this thing. But we have it here and we have it in a couple more places. It's the same, so I use the same mesh. Now, I will go to mirror, but it will not work. I will show you. Yeah. So it's going here. Why? Because we have to go to object mode, press Ctrl A, and apply all transformations. And when we do that, it's okay now. We have it. So, the next video, we have to fix this to make the border here, make the border in this, and we will be kind of okay, and we will have most of our things in place. We will fix the hair and the face a little bit later because I need to have feedback, and we can start working on the weapon and refining probably those areas to make those kind of diamond shapes here. And yeah, I mean, we are in a very good position now. We are doing great. Hopefully you also like this series. And of course, if you like this series and you like to learn more, you can always check out my courses. They're in the link in the description. And they're all in the same kind of level. I'm speaking, I'm talking about random things, and mostly I'm teaching you how to do characters. That's the idea. Most of my courses are in ZBrush, but I have two courses which are for anatomy, female anatomy and man anatomy, superhuman anatomy, but it's male. They are in ZBrush, but you can make them in Blender, you can make them even by drawing, because they are anatomy courses. They are not about ZBrush. They are just in ZBrush because I can show you the 3D of the human body much easier and the forms and everything. It's just I'm using this tool, ZBrush, but they're teaching you basically only anatomy, so I think they're good. For a character artist, anatomy is one of the most important things, so I recommend it. Okay, all right. Looks pretty good. Okay, we can do something. Let me show you. We can go here in the top where the balls are, press the little arrow and go to cavity. And in the default, I think it was screen. And this looks a little bit too much. Let's go to world and let's enable and disable it. You see, the cavity is nice. And also we can put our shadows on. And you see, it's starting to look pretty professional with shadows and cavity. It looks like a real character, but it's not finished in any case. So I will just leave the cavity for now. And yeah, let's save. Control Shift S, press plus. Save us. This is the 11th video. Peace, and yeah, this is the peace sign. I'm not sure. Peace, whatever. Peace. Bye.